Question H. They said, analyze the benefit of a current account surplus for a country such as Australia. So when we talk about current account surplus implies that an economy is having exports that exceeds or higher export that exceeds imports. So I wrote, current account surplus implies that an economy is having higher export values than imports. That is surplus.
I talked about government revenue current expenditure.
No, that is fiscal. That is fiscal surplus. It's not the same.
Government revenue exceeds government expenditure.
That is fiscal surplus. Fiscal. Because government revenue comes from taxation. Government spending comes from taxation. Revenue comes from taxation, and that is what government spends. So if what government spends exceeds what it receives in terms of tax revenue, that is fiscal deficit. If government spending is lesser than government revenue, that is fiscal surplus. But here we're talking about current account surplus, which is about trading, export and import. Taxation is about, do you get it?
Yeah.
For taxation, that is where government will spend from, and that is where government gets its revenue. So that's fiscal. That's for the budget.
Exports and imports is about
current account. So when you have current account surplus, it means the export value of that country exceeds the import value of that country. I think, do you understand the difference now?
I got it.
Great. So for current account surplus, like I said earlier, it's surplus exports exceeding imports, right? Great. According to the data, they said, well, the surplus is around 18.1 billion, right? So it means that Australia will benefit from higher employment rate. Definitely, if there's increasing export in the country, if there's an increasing export in the country, it means that the country is doing well. So that means the exporting firms in that economy would need more workers to meet up with the demand for goods and services, or the demand for their goods.
That also means the GDP for that country is also increasing.
Yeah, but before going to the GDP, here we're talking about, the GDP will increase, but let's come back to increasing export within an economy. Increasing export means that the export is in demand, is high in demand. That means foreign customer needs more of exports. So exporting firms in that economy would have increased employment opportunity. Do you get the point I'm making here? So higher employment, I wrote, this will mean that Australia will benefit from higher employment, as higher sales in export may create job opportunity. Do you get that? Mm-hmm. So higher employment rate will increase the output of Australia, and that will help the economy to grow. Yeah. Do you get how it works now?
Yeah.
Higher employment rate will increase output, because increasing employment will increase the GDP of that country and the output of that country. But you have to put it this way: as soon as export is increasing in an economy, it means exporting firms would have to continue to produce more, because the demand for their goods are increasing.
They will need to get more workers.
So they will need to employ more workers to meet up with the increasing demand. Is export clear now about current accounts? Good.